Welcome to Maths for All. I'm Aisling Flynn. This is Financial Maths 1.6 Statutory Deductions. Statutory deductions are deductions that must be paid by law. The first of those is income tax, or PAYE, pay as you earn, and we looked at this in the previous video. The second one is USC. USC stands for Universal Social Charge, and it is a tax on income that replaced both the income levy and the health levy on the 1st of January in 2011. Basically, this was an emergency measure at the time for the government in the last recession, and it was promised at the time that it would be abolished when the economic situation got better, but it still exists. Its rates have reduced somewhat, but and they continue to change year on year with each financial budget. The third statutory deduction is PRSI, or Pay-Related Social Insurance, and it's a payment made by employees and also their employers. And PRSI is the main source for funding social welfare payments. Okay, if you become unemployed suddenly, you can claim what is traditionally called your stamps. Okay, so you automatically get a payment for a number of months before you start getting means tested. This is PRSI. It also goes, or these taxes also go to fund things like the health service, schools, and things that are socially based. You can claim things on your PRSI, for example. Each year you can get a free eye test based on it, or a free dental checkup based on it, so it's worth exploring. USC, Universal Social Charge. So let's look at the current rates as of 2021, and they're given here in this table. So you can see there are 4 different rates and 4 different thresholds. So the threshold is the top amount which is going to be taxed at this. Okay, firstly, if you're a low earner, you may not have to pay a universal social charge at all. Okay, but if most full-time workers will. Okay, so they will pay 0.5% on the first 12,012 euros. Okay, so 0.5% or 0.5% on the first 12,012 euros. Now, don't ask me who came up with these numbers, all right? Now, so if you earn more than 12,012 euro, you'll start to be taxed at 2% for the next 8,675 euros. Okay, so if we add the 12,000 and the 8,000 number together, that brings us up to 20,687 euros. Okay, so that's where we're at now. If you earn 20,000 euros, you'll just be paying USC at 0.5% initially, and then on the second chunk 2%. Okay, then if you earn more than 20,687, for the next 49,357, you'll be paying 4.5%. So this would include most people, okay, except the very high earners. Okay, so that would bring us up, if we add the 49,000 number to the 20,000, we've now included everybody who earns up as far as 70,044 euro. Okay, and then anybody who earns more than that begins to pay USC at 8%. Okay, so the high earners pay more. Alright, so a bit to take in. We'll have to see it in practice. These are the current rates, and you can check out PRSI. The current
most
rates
recent
of
rates
PRSI
at revenue.ie.
so again you can see there's a bit going on here. Basically there's 3 different levels. If you earn 352 or under per week, you don't pay any PRSI, but your employer will be paying it on your behalf. Okay, then there's a middle bracket who pay maximum €12 PRSI, and there's intricate calculations inside that. But if you earn €424 or more, you pay 4%. Okay, so most of the examples given would be 4%. Okay, as already mentioned, the employer or the boss also pays PRSI on an employee's behalf. Okay, and there are the rates there. They're not really asked about, so we don't calculate those unless we're asked to. And all percentages and figures will be provided if you need them. Okay, these figures above are based on a Class A employee. There are different classes of employee. They depend on many things. The type of job, in what sector it is. There's quite a bit in it. Okay, and you'll find more information if you want it at revenue.ie, citizensinformation.ie or gov.ie. Okay, so let's put that information into practice and let's look at Peter's paycheck. Peter's gross salary for a year is €49,000. His standard rate cut-off point is €33,000. The standard rate of tax is 20% and the higher rate is 40%. He has tax credits of €3,000 and he is a Class A PRSI employee. Okay. Calculate his PAYE, number 1, USC, number 2, and PRSI, number 3. So calculate those deductions and then calculate his net income for the year. Okay, so let's look at that. We'll look at his PAYE first. Okay, so we've all the information we need there. We've standard rate and higher rate. So let's calculate that. Okay, so firstly, he earns €49,000 and 33,000 of that will be taxed at standard rate, but how much remains to be taxed for higher rate? So 49,000 take away 33,000 and you get 16,000. Okay, so let's begin. So standard rate, so that will be 33,000 of his income will be taxed at 20%. Again, calculate your 20% in the way that you're comfortable with, be that decimal or fraction or the percentage function on the calculator. So we get 6,600 for that. Okay, higher rate is next. And above we've seen that €16,000 remain to be taxed at 40%. Okay, so let the calculator do the work. And we get 6,400. Okay, now that's our initial tax bill if we add these two together. And we get €13,000, and this is what's known as, sorry, that's not that, as gross tax. Okay, so that's tax before it's been altered, the initial tax bill. Okay, but we've learned that he doesn't have to pay all of that. He has a tax credit. So we'll take that out. That's an allowance that he does not have to pay. And so he does have to pay 10,000 euros. That's his tax payable. Okay, so that's his PAYE bill for the year, €10,000. Pause that and review if you need to. Okay, so next is Peter's USC bill. There's our information, and here's our information regarding USC. Okay, there's going to be a few steps in this. So firstly, identify his gross pay. Everything is based off this, goes back to this. He will definitely be paying the 0.5% on the first €12,000 or so. He will definitely be paying the 2% on the next 8.5 grand or so. He's up now to about 20,000 and something, so he will go into the 4.5%, but he won't reach it was about 70,000 that you need to be into to pay 8%. Okay, so let's do the first two steps first. Let's tax 12,012 by 0.5%. Now 0.5% is half, or 0.5 per 100. So in decimal it's 0.005. Or use the fraction method, or use your decimal function. Okay, so that gives me €60.06. Okay, the next chunk of money, 8,675, is to be taxed at 2%. 8675 multiplied by 0.02, and that gives me €173.50. Okay, now this is the tricky part where USC comes in. How much is left to be taxed at 4.5%? Okay, so let's go back to his gross wages, 49,000. Okay, now some of that has already been taxed and we're going to take it out. So €12,012 has been already taxed, so we'll remove that from the lump sum, and so has €8,675. We'll remove that from the lump sum. Okay, so on your calculator just subtract those two figures from 49,000, and what remains, €28,313 remains to be taxed. Okay, so €28,313 is to be taxed at, well, that would be 4% if I left it like that. 4.5%, you have 0.045. Okay, and what I get for that is 1,274.085. Okay, or because this is money, we'll round to the nearest cent, 0.09, so 9 cents. Okay, so we have three figures for USC, three parts to it. So to answer USC bill, we must add those three parts. Okay, so 60.06 plus 173.50 plus 1274.09. We have to add all of those. 173.50 added to that, and what do we get? We get €1,507.65. Okay, so not to be sneezed at. Okay, so that was USC. Peter's PRSI, you're told he's a Class A PRSI employee. He earns 49,000 per year. So to do a quick check, I'm quite sure he'll be in the upper brand. To do a quick check which bracket he's in, let's do 49,000. That's per year, divided by 52 to find his weekly amount. Okay, 49,000 divided by 52, and as expected he's way over the threshold of 424. That gives him 942.31 per week. So he's in this bracket here, definitely. Okay, so we're going to tax all of his income, 49,000 at 4%, and see what we get. Okay, we get 1,000, 1,000, €1,960. Okay, so that is PRSI. So what remains is to calculate Peter's net income. So we've used all the information in the question, tax credits, etc. We just have to start with his gross income, which was 49,000, and we'll subtract each of the deductions. So the first one was 10,000, and that was PAYE. The second one was a USC, that was €1,507.65. And the third one was PRSI, that was €1,960. So you subtract all of those on the calculator, start with 49,000 and take away. And 1960. And so his net income after those deductions is €35,532.35. Okay, so you do it, check you've understood by doing the quiz, and practice what you've learned by doing the written exercises on this topic.